Hey, whoa, I got a flush.
Good cat.
What an absolute punt. Down $2,142.
Heard you need a babysitter.
Holy shit, this trip might go off the rails. The damage on the trip is officially uncomfortable.
Alright, I'm all in.
The turn comes, and I see a red. Oh my god, we just hit quads. Last time on Minivan Poker. We went down to Austin with one goal in mind: make $3K profit over 3 days playing low stakes poker. This was just part of the bigger goal of hitting $10,000 in 3 months, only playing part-time. Between long sessions, late nights, and a few sketchy side quests that probably weren't on the itinerary, we walked away with just over $8 grand in profit. It wasn't just a good trip, it was a statement. Proof that maybe, just maybe, I still had it. But then I came home and reality hit like a rock. The poker chips got replaced with sippy cups and school drop-offs. My phone stopped buzzing with texts from new poker buddies in Texas and started blowing up with reminders of birthday parties,
Happy birthday to you.
basketball tournaments,
Nice, buddy.
and texts from the wife that say, don't forget to pick up the kids. I got back into the grind, the real grind, my 9 to 5. Flops, turns, and rivers turned into emails, meetings, and spreadsheets. Poker had to take a back seat while I caught up on life. And right in the middle of all that chaos, a massive project landed squarely on my plate at work. It was a huge presentation that I've been working on, and I was feeling nervous as hell about it. Sorry for running late, everybody. I was finishing up the presentation, but I think you're really gonna like what you see. Now, phase number 2 is Dallas, Texas. Now, hear me out. Dallas represents a critical growth opportunity. It's a fresh market with strong potential, and it gives us the opportunity to finish what we started. Now, as you can see, projected growth is through the roof. Now, I put together detailed reports for your review.
Daddy, I can't read.
Then look at the pictures.
So we're taking our business to Dallas?
Let's call it hands-on market research.
But this is just a list of poker rooms and pictures of you next to money?
It's called a positive projection.
And drinking with dealers?
Definitely networking.
And a wife's investment of $1,200?
I'm asking for a minor investment of $1,200 for transportation, food, and maybe a beer or two.
And what happens if you lose this time?
We'll chalk it up as a content expense, great for tax purposes. Jaden. And we lost our intern mid-meeting, I see?
So we're going to Texas?
No.
You're not leaving me home alone with the kids again.
Consider it a short-term staffing shortage, very common in startups.
I don't think that mommy likes this idea.
Check page 3.
If you can convince Mom to let me go to Dallas, I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese when I get back. Promise.
So, Dallas, huh?
Yes, Dallas. A calculated strategic field test for personal growth and development.
You don't need more development. You need a babysitter and a curfew.
Excellent feedback. I'll add it to the risk management section. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Filling that.
All right, great collaboration, everybody. Sounds like everybody's aligned.
Whoa. I'm not aligned.
Phase 2 approved.
I did not approve anything.
After getting an overwhelming 100% approval from upper management, we hit the road for Dallas. Now, all jokes aside, my wife believes in me. And she hasn't seen the ugly side of poker yet. The variance, the losses. If this goes wrong, it doesn't just cost money, it costs trust. So with that sitting heavy, I got on the plane. I landed around 11 a.m. and naturally, the first order of business wasn't poker. It was to find some food and to grab a beer. We found this spot right next to the first room we planned to play at, a place called Firehouse Gastro Park. The vibe inside, kind of like a hipster coffee shop had a baby with a brewery. The bar was separate from where you ordered food, which was also kind of weird. I ordered the Gouda brisket sandwich, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it might be one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life.
So good and tasty.
The brisket was unbelievable. I tried to upload episode 1 while we ate, but the Wi-Fi was absolute garbage, so I gave up. Overall, 7.5 out of 10 stars. Amazing food, decent vibe, terrible upload speeds. After that, we rolled over to a brand new poker room in the area called Palace Poker. And I'm not kidding when I say this, this was easily one of the most high-end, cleanest poker rooms I've ever been in. The place was beautiful. They just didn't have a huge spread of games yet, as they're still building up their player base. But we grabbed seats at the 2-2 with a $500 max buy-in while waiting to get on the 2-5 table that had a list. Time to see what Dallas Poker was all about.
It's showtime, folks.
A few hands into the session and we wake up with pocket 10s on the button. Early position raises a 10, everyone folds to us, and we have a decision to make. Now most of the time I would 3-bet here to isolate that early position with the blinds behind us, but in the moment I decide to smooth call because I don't really have any tendencies on any players yet to see how they play. Small blind and big blind fold and we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes out King 8-3, and early position bets out for $10. We decide to make the call. The turn is the 3 of hearts, which is basically a dud. Early position then leads out for 20. Now here I didn't really believe her yet. I didn't want to make a raise and get stuck in a weird spot if she goes over the top of us, so we again just make the call. The river comes out and it binks the 10 of spades. Boom. This is how we do it on the first hand we play. Unfortunately, early position checks, we bet out 60, praying that they have a king, and ultimately they end up folding. Damn it. I was hoping we were gonna get paid off here. After going card dead for the next hour or so, we get called over to the 2-5 table and immediately buy in for the max at $800. The first hand we get tangled up at the 2-5 is a bomb pot. Now at Palace Poker, it is a $10 ante, so we go to a pot of $90 to the flop. We look down at Ace Queen 6-4. The flop comes out Ace 3-5, and the second flop 8 Ace 4. So we have an open-ended straight plus 2 pair on the bottom. Checks around the table to us in the low jack, and we check. Hijack then bets 50, cutoff calls, button calls, under the gun calls, and middle position also calls. Now we're looking at a pot of $340 for us just to call with our open-ended and 2 pair, so we make the call as well for 50. We go to a turn. Top board comes King of Clubs, bottom board 10 of Spades, so both miss for us. It gets checked around to the hijack who leads out for 100, cutoff calls, and everyone else folds when it comes to us. Now we're basically looking at a $600 pot just to call $100 with our open-ended. Now there is 2 hearts on that top board, so we really only have 6 outs to the nuts, and on the bottom we're only looking at 6 outs to mode up, but even that's a little sketchy with it being top and bottom pair. But for this amount, I think we have to call. We then go to the river, which is the 10 of diamonds and 9 of clubs. We miss on both boards. It all checks around and we show our cards. Pocket 8s takes down the bottom board with trips, and the cutoff takes down the top with flopping the wheel. So we whiff and those 2 chop. So we end up losing $160 on that hand. Now at this point, we've basically been folding for 3 hours straight, except playing a few playable hands that we missed on the flop and our opponents get aggressive with us. So it's been very hard to take down anything. All this dinking and dunking, we're down around $400 at this point, and we move to our next hand of 6-7 of diamonds. There's a $10 straddle on the button, and it folds around to us in middle position. We decide to raise it up to $30. The straddle makes the call, and the blinds fold. We go to a flop of Jack 9-5, 2 diamonds. We decide to lead out for $35 to keep the aggression on, and the button calls. We go to a turn, and it is a 5, which pairs the board, which is obviously a bad card for us, as any boat is gonna beat the flush we're drawing to, but chances are slim that he actually has a boat. I'm still gonna be aggressive and lead out for 50, which is about a third of the pot. And the button calls again. Come on, we need a diamond here, we need an 8, we need something to get this day going. River, complete blank, 2 of hearts. Now we have a decision to make. There's no way we're gonna take down this pot if we check, so we decide to bet out a half pot bet of $125 and pray to the poker gods that he folds. Button things for a little bit and instantly mucks. We take down that $362 pot finally. Oh my goodness, we got a bluff through. Hopefully this turns around the day for us. The next hand we go to is a bomb pot. We look down at 3, 4, 5, 6 double suited and go to a flop of 6-4-2 rainbow and 8-8-2 with 2 diamonds. We flop the nuts on the top board and we have absolutely nothing on the bottom. We are in the low jack. It checks around to us and we lead out for pot at $90 because we're holding the nuts, obviously. The next player behind us, the hijack, then raises the $270 and the cutoff calls. Folds all around the table back to us and we have a decision to make. Obviously, I don't think we can fold the nuts here ever on the top board, even though we have nothing on the bottom, so we make the call. The player behind us is all in and we go to a turn. The turn is the queen of spades and the 2 of clubs. We still have the nuts on top, and we now have a flush draw on the bottom. I check, and the cutoff also checks. We go to a river, which is now the 9 of spades, so a flush gets there, and the 6 of diamond hits on the bottom, and that brings in another flush. We completely whiff on the bottom. We both check. Hopefully, we can take down half this pot. We show our hands, and me and the cutoff had the same hand with 3-5. The hijack's gonna take down the bottom board with a king 8. At this point, I think we just got quartered, which I'm all right with. I go to start grabbing chips, and the cutoff yells, "Oh, I have a flush."
3 is on top. Hey, whoa, I got a flush. The flush on top.
Good cat.
Oh my goodness.
You have a sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, I bet you are. God damn. Man, this session is just not going that great. It's just going all bad right now. We move on to our next hand, and we look down at 7-9 of clubs in the hijack. Middle position raises to 15. We call, cutoff calls, button calls, small blind calls, and we go to a flop of $80. Flop comes out 6-8-8 rainbow, and it gets checked around, and we get a free turn. The turn comes out the 3 of clubs. It gets checked around to the button, who leads out for 30. Obviously, we're open-ended right now. No one's showing much aggression, so we make the call as well as the cutoff. The pot is now at $170. The river comes out the 10 of clubs. Bink, let's go. We river our straight. We check, cutoff checks, button bets out for 70, and we're gonna go for some thin value here and raise it up to 270. It's time to get some of our money back. Cutoff folds, and the button thinks about it for a while, then makes the call.
Yes.
I got a straight.
You would. Golly, it's gonna make the vlog. You wanna be on the vlog?
What do you think about that hand?
Oh, please.
I got robbed by a sweet old lady on a motorized cart. I didn't even see it coming.
The same lady that rivered the flush on me then takes down this pot with a boat. We're just ended up with second best here. This is getting so frustrating. I don't know what to do at this point. Now, before some of you freak out and ask why I was raising that river when there's obviously a paired board, I do not regret my decision one bit. This is a awesome spot to get some thin value. This is where you make a lot of money if someone's holding an 8. I would raise this river 9 times out of 10, depending on who I'm playing and how the hand was played. Sometimes you're gonna get your hand caught in the cookie jar when you're going for thin value. After this hand, we've been at the table for a little over 6 hours, and we're down about $800 from reloads. We hear over the intercom that they have a 3,000 guaranteed Omaha tournament going on, and it's only a $125 buy-in. There's also only 7 players signed up. Since we've been playing pretty well in bomb pots the last 3 sessions before this, I say screw it. Let's jump in. Now let me give you some backstory. I have never played an Omaha Tourney in my life. I figured I know how to play it well enough to win some bomb pot hands. How hard could it be? Now I don't film at the beginning of the tournament as I was trying to concentrate on what was going on, but we end up running crazy hot and we make it all the way to the final table. I've been chip leader most of the tournament and we've been cruising. We get down to 5-handed and now we're one of the lower stacks as we missed a few big draws and we're kind of getting blinded out. The table starts talking about chopping and I tell them confidently, I don't care what we do because I'm taking this thing down. They looked at me like I was a complete psycho, but I had that much confidence at the time. We agreed to pay down to 4 as there were a total of 27 buy-ins. First we'll take 1,800, which will definitely get us close to our 10K goal after our losses from the night. We end up getting tangled up with a middle stack and double up huge where we flop Broadway and the board comes out clean. Let's take this bitch down. I then look down at King Jack 3 with the King 3 being in diamonds. The chip leader who can't miss a flop raises pre-flop. I just call here wanting to see a flop as I don't want to do anything crazy as we can still ladder up for extra cash. Big blind also calls. Flop comes out 8-3-2 2 clubs. It goes check check and the chip leader fires out for pot. I decide this is going to be one of the cleanest boards we could have gotten with our kings and we get aggressive and repot and go all in. Big blind then calls, which I was not expecting, as well as the chip leader. Shit, 3-way all in, and I only have a pair. Hands are revealed and I'm going against Ace King Jack 5 with the Ace King being in clubs and Ace 7 8 deuce with 2 hearts. We are not in good shape as the chip leader has 2 pair and we gotta dodge a club as well. The turn is an ace, and that almost seals our fate as we're basically drawing to the last king in the deck. River is a 10, and the chip leader scoops. I end up taking third place for $600 as I had the big blind covered and we hit the rails. So total, we're in for $1,600 in cash, out for $768 for a loss of $832. We end up with a $475 profit from the tourney, so overall we're down $357 on the night. I decide to end the night of cards as my brain was pretty fried. We talk with the fourth place player at the bar for a couple hours, then we catch an Uber back to the hotel and get some sleep. The next morning, there's pounding on my door. I walk up to it half awake and open it.
Heard you need a babysitter.
Holy shit, this trip might go off the rails. So day 2 marked a noticeable shift in the trip. The kind of shift you only recognize after tequila enters the chat.
All right, so tonight we're gonna go to a place called TCH Las Colinas. I've never played there before. Last night I played at Palace Poker. It was good. I think there's more action or more tables at Las Colinas. What are you doing?
I'll pay him back with interest.
What if you lose?
I'll get you next time. Can I smoke in here?
No, you can't f***ing smoke in here. What are you thinking?
In Texas, the big sky state.
Dude, let's just go play poker.
So we decided to go get food before the session, and we hit a place called Chop Sports a couple hundred yards down from TCH. The waitress recommended I order the Tennessee hot chicken, but in a wrap. And honestly, it was pretty damn good. Now the vibe was a typical sports bar that had a wide range of music. One minute you're listening to Garth Brooks, the next minute it sounds like someone plugged in their cousin's SoundCloud mixtape. Overall, solid 6.5 out of 10 stars. Food did the job, vibe was fine, nothing memorable, other than finding out the waitlist on Poker Atlas is 60 people long. 6-0. I've seen shorter lines for the bathroom at Vikings games. We decided to have another beer and just head over to the poker room. Now the place was packed. And before we could even worry about the wait, I had to deal with filming permissions because apparently my profile didn't get updated. So now I'm at the front desk explaining who I am, what I'm filming, and why getting permissions suddenly feels like I'm trying to bring a drone into a 1-3 game. Eventually we get approval, but now we have to wait another hour and a half just to get on a game. We finally get a seat. And the rumors are true, guys. The table was full of euros. Like, it looked like the entire table flew together on a group rate. Alright, so for our first hand, we decide to get aggressive and we raise in middle position with pocket threes. Everyone folds around to the small blind, who is by far the loosest player at the table. Let's just call him Mr. Sticky because this is the guy you want to get caught up in hands with.
We're the Sticky Bandits!
Definitely not a Euro, likes to play a lot of pots. He calls and we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes out Queen Deuce Deuce with 2 spades on board. He checks, and we decide to put out a small c-bet of $20. Mr. Sticky makes the call. We go to the turn, which is the 4 of spades. A pretty good card for us with pocket threes. I mean, this board's not bad for us. He checks again. We decide to throw out a quarter-size bet of $35, and Mr. Sticky gets out of the way and folds. We take down our first pot of the night for $120. We move on to our next hand and we look down at Ace King off in early position. Under the gun folds and we raise it up to $20 again. Everyone folds around to Mr. Sticky, who's on the button this time, who makes the call. And the big blind calls as well. We go to a flop of Ace 7-7. Big blind checks to us and we put out another small c-bet of $20. Mr. Sticky and the big blind both make the call. We go to the turn, which is the Jack of clubs. We now have a flush draw on board. There's some Broadway draws, so I decide to almost pot this thing once big blind checks to us for $105. Unfortunately, Mr. Sticky folds, and so does the big blind. We take down that $227 pot. Wish we could build this pot a little bigger, but unfortunately, that's all we're going to make on this hand. We go to our third hand of the night, and we are in the hijack with King Jack of diamonds. Mr. Sticky is under the gun and makes a huge raise to $35 under the gun. It folds to me, and now we have a decision to make. Usually with this big of a raise from someone, I'm probably not going to be calling with King Jack here, even if it is suited. But we want to get in hands with Mr. Sticky, so we make the call.
Okay, You probably shouldn't have done that.
And we go heads up to a flop. The flop comes out ace 8-5 rainbow, and Mr. Sticky makes a small $40 C bet. Now obviously we have nothing here. We have 3 to a royal, so we have a lot of backdoor opportunities on a turn. I really don't believe him here. I can represent an ace in position. We decide to float, so I make the call. Turn is the 5 of diamonds, which is a great card, which gives us a flush draw. Mr. Sticky then leads out for $60, and at this point I'm wondering if we should raise him. I debate for probably 20 to 30 seconds, not sure what to do here. Ultimately, I decide to play some pot control and just call. River comes the ace of clubs, which is a very interesting card. Mr. Sticky checks. Now part of me is wondering, can I fire at this thing and get him to fold a pair? Did he check an ace to us and hoping to check raise us? After some time thinking about it, I'm gonna represent this ace, and I put out a half pot size bet of $125. In my head, I'm screaming, fold, Mr. Sticky, go away. I don't want you calling me here. He thinks for probably a minute or so and decides to flick in the call.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Damn it. He turns over Jack 8 of spades. I think I would probably call there if I was him too, with that ace hitting the river. The ace kind of screwed us in the end. If anything else hits like a queen, a 10, he might get away from this hand. Unfortunately, the paired board makes him make the call. He takes down that $527 pot. Unfortunately, Mr. Sticky then leaves after that hand, but the good news is we look down at 2 black aces. Let's get a big one here. We're in the small blind and it folds around to the hijack, who makes it 15. The button calls and we 3-bet to $60. Unfortunately, both players fold. Damn it. This table's getting super tight. These Euros just will not play hands. We go to our next hand and we look down at ace 10 on the button. Early position raises to 15. We just call on the button and we go heads up to a flop of king 7-6 with 2 hearts. Under the gun +2 checks, and we check as well. The Euro then checks again to us. Here we probably should be betting. We have a bunch of draws and over. I don't know why I didn't bet here. The pot was small. I think that's why. There wasn't much incentive to try taking this right now. So I decide to check, and then we bink the 4 hearts on the river. Under the gun +2 then leads out for a measly $20 bet. It's a little over half pot, and I don't think he's very strong. I can kind of tell he's just trying to take this down with a small bet. I raise it up to 55, thinking that's all I'm going to get out of him. He reluctantly makes the call and we take down this pot. We could be overbetting this river, but in the moment I know he's not very strong and I don't think he had much at all. I think I'm lucky we even got the extra 35, to be honest. We've now been at this table for a few hours, and it is just a super tight table. I'm starting to get a little frustrated, and we wake up with ace queen off in the small blind. Middle position raises up to 15, cutoff makes the call, and we decide to 3-bet here to $55. Both players make the call, and we go to a flop. Flop is 3, 6, 7, 2 diamonds, and we're 3 ways to a flop. I decide to lead out for $75, which in hindsight on this board, betting into 2 players is kinda dumb. Middle position then automatically raises up to 250. Cutoff folds, and we have no backdoor draws. This flop is nowhere near our range. The only way we would ever bet here is if we had a big pair, and looking back, this is just a dumb bet going into 2 people out of position. We reluctantly fold because we have nothing, and middle position takes it down. At this point, we're super frustrated. This table is just too tight, and we decide to change tables. We get to our new table, and this table is way looser, way more fun. I think we're gonna have a good run here. A few hands in, we look down at pocket 6s when the straddle is on, and everyone folds to us on the button and we make it $30. Small blind calls and so does the straddle. We go 3 ways to a flop. Ace 3, 9, 2 clubs. Small blind checks, under the gun checks. This smacks our range on the button all day. We make a small C bet of $40, and the small blind then 3 bets to $125. Under the gun gets out of the way, and I mean, obviously this sucks. We're trying to represent that ace. Small blind obviously has a big hand, and we just have to fold. After this hand, we get involved in a few small pots. Basically, we can't hit crap, and my buddy Zeke comes over and says, hey, everyone wants to play with you at this 1-2 table. So I say, screw it, I play a few more orbits and head over to the 1-2. Now, once I get to this 1-2 table, Zeke has been talking me up like I'm some YouTube god, and I don't even think I have 500 subscribers at this point. So it's kind of funny that everyone wanted to play with me because I'm a vlogger, but at the same time, I had no following at the time.
I don't have a problem with selfies as long as you ask me first.
Which was pretty cool that people still wanted to play with me, but we end up sitting down down with $300 and get involved in our first hand. The straddle is on and we are in the cutoff. Under the gun, min clicks to $10. Middle position calls, hijack calls, and it's on to us with ace 8 of clubs. I decide to raise it up to 60 bucks here. The button folds, small blind makes the call. The original raiser then pushes all in for $268. Everyone else folds to me, and I'm kind of thinking that was a tiny little min click raise under the gun. I didn't think they were that strong. Screw it, let's have some fun for the vlog. I flick in the call, and then the small blind also makes the call. Shit, wasn't expecting that. Small blind flashes me an ace, which I know is very, very bad news at that point. But the flop comes out 8-5-5. Pink.
Oh! Oh, baby.
Oh my god.
Scoop it, baby. Let's go.
It's okay. It's okay.
Damn it. Womp, 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 womp. Damn, I thought we might take that thing down. Instead, it's just a huge punt, but we're having fun at the table. Things are getting pretty crazy. People are having a bunch of drinks, laughing, just not taking the game seriously at all, which is always fun when there's not a lot of money at stake. I end up double straddling to $10 on this hand, and we have 5-7 off.
My fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going.
Middle position calls, other middle position calls. Hijack then min clicks to $20. Button calls, and it comes to us, so we obviously have to call here for only another 10 bucks. And then the next position then goes all in for $83. Now what's really interesting is everyone else folds around to us. Now we have a $161 pot, and we only need $63 to make the call here. At this point, I'm like, what's $60 for 160? Screw it, let's have some fun. I flick in the call, and he shows me pocket jacks. We are absolutely crushed. Flop comes out ace 4-8. We do have a gutter ball. If a 6 hits, we can take this down. Turn 10 of clubs, river 10 of diamonds. Damn it. He ends up taking down this $224 pot, and we are just punting away all of our money right now.
How are you? Not great, Bob.
After that hand, I tell the table, obviously I'm not running that good. I want to go make some money before this night's over. I put my name back on the 2-5 list and immediately get called. I tell everybody good game, and we move on. The next 3 or 4 hours, we basically go completely card dead, where we're just swinging and missing on every flop. Our pairs are just not working out. Basically, anything we try to do is just getting slammed back in our face. It's just been not a very good session. We wake up with pocket queens in the small blind, and the straddle's on. Under the gun, just makes the call. We then raise to $50. Straddle calls, and so does under the gun. We go to a flop of king, king 4. Now here I'm just gonna play some pot control. If someone does have a king, or if they have a pair, maybe we can trap them. I decide to check, and both players check behind me. Turn is the jack of clubs. Once again, I make a check here. I could be betting, but both players then check again. I lead out for 100 on the river when the 7 of hearts comes, and both players fold. For some reason, money is super hard to come by at these tables tonight, but hey, at least we took down a semi-decent pot. We then switch seats yet again because we're completely card dead. It's 5 in the morning. I can barely keep my eyes open, and we look down at ace queen on the button. We have one limper in front of us, and we raise to 30. Small blind makes the call, big blind makes the call, and so does the limper. We go 4 ways to a flop. King 9 queen with 2 diamonds. Everyone checks around to me, and I make a small c-bet of $40 for a quarter pot. Small blind folds, big blind makes the call, and the limper then folds. We go to a turn, which is the 5 of spades. Big blind checks, and I play some pot control here since this is a very draw heavy board, and we have an over to our pair on the board as well. We check. River is the 6 of hearts. Big blind then leads out for $135. I kind of go in the tank here. I don't think he has a king. I think this is 10 jack or a missed draw. I go through all the possibilities in my head, and I'm kind of frustrated. I flick in the call, and he says, good hand, I miss my draw, and we take down that $470 pot, and we end up calling it a night because Zeke's ready to go home. He's been done for an hour or 2, and at this point I realize that I'm probably just not going to get my money back that we lost on the night. Now the session itself, it wasn't one big disaster. No massive cooler, no hero call gone wrong. It was just death by 1,000 paper cuts. C-bets that didn't work, second barrels that got snapped, and flops that ignored me like a one-night stand who realized they could probably do a lot better. Then there was the 1-2 game, and this is probably why I shouldn't move down in stakes unless I have to. At 2-5, $80 is like a small 3-bet. At 1-2, that's some people's stacks, and my brain just doesn't downshift. Now don't get me wrong, it was the most fun I had that night. It was awesome, everyone enjoyed it, but it also cost me about $400 or $500. So the total damage on day 2 was down $1,785. Damn. The total trip, down $2,142, which means the Austin profit is severely dented now. And there's no more cushion anymore. One bad day 3 and all that work, poof, gone. To hit the 10K challenge, I now need a profit of $3,562 on the final night. And that's when the doubts finally showed up. Did I actually play well in Austin? Or did I just run good? Because the players here felt different. A lot better than I've played in the past. For the first time, I wondered if I hit my ceiling back in 2008. I still haven't told my wife the numbers yet because it still doesn't feel real. I needed one more night to prove that Austin wasn't a fluke. And just like that, the moment passed. On the way out of TCH, some guy asked to help open a plastic grocery bag. I didn't think much of it until I looked up, and it was Daniel Cates, Jungle Man, one of the best poker players in the world, struggling with opening a grocery bag. I helped him open it and made my way to the parking lot. It didn't feel random, but also it was definitely weird as hell. We get back to the hotel and we're starving. We walk by the snack bar and see microwavable ramen and some noodles. At that point, it looked like a gourmet dinner to us. We grabbed a bunch and head up to the room. And of course, once we get up there, we realize we forgot forks and we're too lazy to go downstairs and get some. So now we end up eating the food with coffee straws in our fingers like a bunch of drunk Neanderthals. What a bunch of idiots. Eventually we pass out as the birds are chirping outside already. We wake up on about 4 hours of sleep, and Zeke immediately wants to go downtown and hit a rooftop pool. Like we already didn't do enough disrespect to our bodies last night. But because Zeke always finds a way to get his way, we end up in a cab and head to the Omni downtown Dallas. We get there and they tell us no day passes on weekends.
Like just closed in general?
It's closed on Saturdays. Our pool, but the pass is not available on Saturdays. That's why.
I'm gonna do a Hail Mary here. What if I give you $100 right now and just you figure out how to do it?
Can't do it. It's a major security thing.
All right. I tried.
Great, so we pivot. Time to get some food. We head next door to a place called Hops and Hens, and I'll be honest, my stomach was on tilt and was not very happy with me. The chicken was decent, beer was needed, but the vibe honestly was unreal. Patio overlooking downtown with great views and great people watching. The ghost pepper hot sauce was awesome too, probably didn't help my stomach situation. Solid 7.5 out of 10 stars. We then grab an Uber to another Omni, and the driver's hilarious.
Looks like y'all going to a cool place here, wherever you're going.
We don't know.
Yeah, I've never been here, but supposedly there's a rooftop bar.
If you see a girl with a cowboy hat on, just say, yeehaw! You can wear it between the legs.
All right, noted.
I'm gonna fucking do that and get slapped.
Are you wet yet?
Brother, thank you so much. All right, you have a great day, dude.
We finally get into a heated pool with a drink from a bar, and for a minute, life is good. You can't do this in Minnesota in October. And for a brief moment, it feels like we stole a little happiness back. But eventually, reality calls, and we head back to TCH Las Colinas. We sit down at the 2-5 table, in the same room with the same energy and the same doubts. And it starts exactly how day 2 ended. So we start out the session in the hijack with 4-5 of hearts. The straddle is on, everyone folds to us, and we raise it up to 30. Everyone folds except the straddle, and we go heads up to a flop. Flop comes out ace 8-5 2 clubs, which smacks our range all day with our pre-flop raise. Straddle checks to us, and we lead out for 30. Straddle makes the call. The turn comes out the king of clubs, which is a very ugly card. Straddle checks, and we decide to play some pot control here with how draw heavy this board is, and we check. River is the 8 of diamonds, and then the straddle overbets the pot at 150. I kind of go in the tank for a little bit. It's just not worth it at this point. We decide to muck our hand. The next hand we go to is a bomb pot. And I'm gonna warn you guys, this is probably the worst hand I've almost ever played. It's embarrassingly bad. I didn't even want to put it on the vlog, to be honest. I played it so bad. But we go to a flop of 6-4-6 with 2 hearts and Jack 5-4, all clubs. I have a 6 in my hand, everyone checks to me in middle position, and I lead up for 100. Middle position makes the call, small blind makes the call, and it's 3 of us going to a turn. The turn is the 3 of clubs on the top board and ace of diamonds on the bottom. We don't have anything on that bottom board, and we only have trips on top. It gets checked through and we go to a river. The river is the 10 of diamonds on top, and on the bottom hits the 6 of diamonds, which means we have the last 6 in the deck. Small blind checks, I check, and then last to act bets out for pot, which is $435. Small blind folds and I kind of go in the tank here. For some reason, the only thing I could think of is I'm holding the last 6 in my hand, and it's gotta be good, right? I'm looking at that top board. 5-7, 5-2, pocket 4s, pocket 3s, pocket 10s all beat me, and I don't have anything on the bottom except a weak 2 pair. Also on that bottom board, I thought it was very unlikely for someone to have a flush with 5 clubs out there and I'm holding a club in my hand. We flick in the call, he flips over pocket 10s on the top and flopped a king high flush on the bottom. He had 3 clubs in his hand. We were absolutely killed. Like I said, no business calling this. What an absolute punt. Now, a couple vloggers stop by and we mess around by betting $5 on red-black flops.
All right. Minivan poker. Yeah, I just started, so super small.
Have you ever seen Dookie Bets or no?
I have not.
Okay. Check him out. He's a good vlogger.
Okay.
Also, JQ Poker is a pretty good vlogger too.
All right, what do you want, red or black?
I would like red.
Okay. You hold on to this.
Here comes this guy.
Ah, come on, bro. We're trying to see a flop here, bro. Can we still run the flop for the side bet?
We can still do a flop.
All right, here we go.
Red.
Oh my God. Hey.
Black.
Here we go.
Oh, they swap colors?
Sick anti-sweat.
They swap colors? That's it.
Let's go, bro. Good job. Club.
It's due.
Oh, hey. I appreciate it. You want back in?
Honestly, it was probably the highlight of Hold'em because I was completely card dead. We end up down about $800 on the night already after that punt on that bomb pot.
It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
Now the damage on the trip is officially uncomfortable. At that point, there's only 2 moves. We cut our losses and head out and just go home, or we switch games. And if you know me, I'm not going down without a fight. We jump into the 2-5 Omaha game, and things are getting super swingy right away. We go up $400 or $500, then we lose a pot, then back up, then we lose another one. So very swingy session up to this point. First notable hand we really look down at though is Ace King 8 in the small blind, and the straddle is on. Middle position, low jack, hijack all limp. Cutoff then raises the 60, button folds, and we repot this thing to 215. Everyone folds back to the initial raiser, which is the cutoff, and he makes the call. We go to a flop of Ace Jack 8 rainbow, and we lead out for 350. Villain only has 630 behind, and he's kind of hemming and hawing. He's not really sure what he wants to do. Ultimately, he ends up making the call. We go to the turn. I just shove in the rest of my stack blind, knowing he doesn't have much behind. He makes the call for $280. 6 of hearts hits the river, and we are holding the nuts, and he mucks. We take down that $1,735 pot. We're finally starting to stack some chips. We're feeling really good, and then we go to a bomb pot where we have 3385 on the button. Flop comes out 8-6 king on the top, and on the bottom 6-3-3. Boom, we flop quads. Now at this point, a lot of the table is having conversations. There's a lot going on, and I can tell there's not very many people interested in this hand. Everyone checks to me nonchalantly, and I just throw out a $25 bet, and we get 3 callers and go to the turn. Once again, we're on the turn. I'm looking around the table to see if anyone's really interested in this pot, and no one really seems that interested. Everyone's talking. They're not really paying attention. Everyone nonchalantly checks to me again, so I just bet out a tiny bet of $50 to try billing this as much as I can. Next to act folds, and the next 2 in line call. So we go 3 ways to a river, which is the 9 of clubs and the 9 of diamonds. Now, we don't have anything on top, but obviously we have the bottom board locked up. Once again, both players check to me, and I just pot this thing, and they both instantly fold. I mean, it was cool flopping quads, but we didn't make that much, which really sucks, even though it was a bomb pot. Now after this, we lose a couple medium-sized pots where I thought I was recording, but I had the recording on my phone opposite. So when I thought I was recording, it was actually stopped, and when I thought it was stopped, it was recording. It's hard to see my screen sometimes because I have my brightness so low on it so other people can't see my cards, but thank goodness we got this hand on film.
Hold on to your butts.
Now we're in the straddle with 9-9-10-3 with 9-10 being in spades, and under the gun raises it up to $40. Low jack folds, high jack makes the call, cutoff makes the call, small blind makes the call, and the big blind makes the call. Now it's up to me for $30 more into a $210 pot, and I'm closing the action. I figured, hey, let's just throw it in and see what happens. Flop comes out, 7, jack, 9, 2 clubs, boom, we hit middle set. Now this is obviously a very draw heavy board. Small blind checks, big blind checks, and I lead out for pot here as I have third nuts. The initial pre-flop raiser then repots to 9-15. Hijack folds, villain that's in the cutoff then goes all in for his remaining 475. Everyone else folds to me, and holy shit do we have a decision to make. I'm going through all the possibilities here. Obviously, if someone has pocket jacks, we're drawing dead. Someone could have 8-10, but I'm blocking the 10 with one of my 10s. I'm looking at both of them to kind of see what they're doing. Pre-flop raisers staring just at the flop, not making any movements. Cutoff, I think's on a big draw as he's just kind of loose, relaxed. Looks like he's just sitting back waiting. It doesn't look like he has a made hand yet. So I go in the tank for about a minute. I really don't know what to do here. I know if I make this call, the rest is going in no matter what. Honestly, I feel like I'm ahead right now. I don't think she has jacks. I think she has a big pair with some sort of super wrap. Same with the other guy. I think they're both drawing the big hands. I end up just repotting it and going all in.
All right, I'm all in. All of it.
And she instantly flicks in the call. Dealer asked if we want to run it 1 or 2 times. She says it's up to me. I say let's just run it once. The turn comes and I see a red 9 of diamonds hit the turn. Oh my God, we just hit quads. I don't wait. I flip my cards over instantly and I announce quads to the table. The table freezes. There's no cheering. There's no yelling. Just that half second where everyone realizes what just happened. River comes out the 5 of diamonds, which doesn't matter. The pot is massive, like absurdly big. When it's all said and done, $4,375 pot getting pushed my way.
Are you not entertained?
Now, was it a good call? I don't know. I'm not an Omaha pro by any means. I was trusting my gut in the moment. I trusted myself when everything else was slipping, and it ended up getting pushed our way. Now, after the hand was done, neither player told me what they had. They weren't really upset like I just coolered them. It made me feel like I made the right call at the time. Now, that pot doesn't erase the weekend. It doesn't lock the challenge, but it stops the free fall, and we're feeling a lot damn better, let me tell you that. Now after that hand, we play for another hour. Nothing crazy, miss on a couple bomb pots. Eventually we rack up and head for the cage. For the night, I'm in for $1,800, out for $3,156, giving us a profit of $1,356. Now when you zoom out, that puts us down $786 on the trip. Now after everything, the doubt, the swings, the self-questioning, being down $786 didn't feel like losing. It felt like survival. Because heading into day 3, this was heading somewhere dark. For the first time all weekend, we weren't giving it back. Now I didn't fix everything, the challenge isn't over, the questions are still there, but I didn't walk away. It wasn't a win, but it sure as hell kept the story alive.
Games.
Yeah,
Games.
Skype.